What's up guys? Today we're going to go over how to make a 5x5 door. So just as we would expect, the door opens from the outside just like this. It's not the fastest design in the world, but it is a lot faster than some designs for how simple the design actually is. And it works for its purpose. It's not super slow. You're not waiting for like the middle block to get out of your way. So I think it's pretty decent for its purpose. And then we also expect it to close from the inside just like that. It closes a lot faster than it opens. And just before we get into it, the design does take some vertical space. You need this chunk up here, and then you also need about 4 blocks below the ground right here. But the design doesn't really take any horizontal space at all. Like there's no redstone here at all, not even underground or anything. And then the only redstone over here is this tower, which you can move wherever you'd want it to be. So with that, let's jump right in. Okay, so first things first, we want to place the 25 blocks that you are going to use for the actual door. So I'm going to use these 25 gold blocks right here for the door, and this is the front of the door, so the one that's in the shade right here, and then this is the back of the door. And the back of the door is where you put all of the slime and honey blocks, if that helps you orient how your door is going to be. The back of the door also has all of the space requirements, whereas the front, it only has like the 1 block or the 2 blocks that come out. And the first thing I want to do is do the double piston extender that takes these 10 blocks and takes them underground. So in order to do that, we need to carve out 4 blocks under the door, and actually we need to carve out these ones as well. So let's do that real fast. And we want about 4 blocks like this. So basically just carve out like a 16 or like a 4x4 by 5 chunk right here. We're also gonna want some blocks on the end of this, but you'll see why in a second. And then what we do is we place pistons like this, both facing up, but we do them a block off because we want them to go into the slime and honey blocks right here. So we do that, and then this actually doesn't need to be carved out. This part does because the gold needs to go somewhere, but this part right here does not. And then we place repeaters on 1 tick right here. We place any opaque block right here. I'm going to use gold, but it can be anything you want. We do redstone like this, and then we place observers facing into the repeaters. So it faces into the repeater, the redstone comes out the back. We do that on all of them. And then we need to place an opaque block that doesn't stick to slime and honey blocks, which usually means obsidian. I'm just going to use obsidian right now. I guess it could be glazed terracotta, but obsidian I think is just usually the most straightforward one to use. You can't use a transparent block right here, so if you wanted to do like the alternating slime and honey blocks, the honey blocks would not work. So you have to use an opaque block here that doesn't stick to the slime and honey. And then for the slime and honey, what we do is we grab both of them and we alternate them. So we do like this, and then we do like that. And then we do an observer that faces that way. So it faces away from us. And then we do a 4-tick repeater right here. And the reason for the 4-tick repeater off the observer is so that it actually, instead of using observer, we can just use a monostable circuit here. I changed my mind. Okay. So we still do a 4-tick repeater right here, but then we do a piston right here. We do a repeater here, and then we do this. And this will actually make it where it's only the rising edge of the button rather than also the falling edge, which is more what we'd want. And that should do that. And then when we power this, it'll take that and it'll take both of them down, except for I forgot to get rid of these blocks. Yeah, these blocks also need to be changed because they're going to stick to the blocks, but otherwise it will work. Let me fix that real fast. Oh my gosh. Okay, and then when I power it again, it should push them up. And then when I power it again, it should pull them all down, just like that. All right, so next we want to do the triple piston extender that goes above this. So first, we need to put the slime and honey blocks in a way that they don't connect to these. So if you did honey on the left, you'll have to do slime on the left and vice versa. And then we just alternate these. And that's so that when they connect, when they're closed, like if I go and power this again, then these don't stick to each other because then it will get confused and none of the pistons will be able to do anything. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this out by 1 and then up by 1. And I'll explain this in a second. This will make more sense once we build the rest of the thing. Okay, and then what we do is we bring this up by 3 blocks, and then we go up another 3 blocks, and then we place the block that we're going to have the redstone on. So you go up 6 blocks from this thing, and then you place one more block on top of that, so a total of 7. And then we do 5 across like that. And then we place 3 pistons facing downwards like this, immediately below this block up here. So just like that. And so basically they're in line with this part right here. And then this is when this gets a little bit more complicated. So what we need to do is we place observers facing upward right here. Just like that. We place redstone lamps immediately below them, like that. We place observers again facing upwards, like that. And then we place an opaque block that does not stick to honey and slime blocks. Same deal with down here. Obsidian probably is just the easiest one to use here. We're gonna have to do it again here in a second. So that we also do observers facing upwards like that. So you have 2 sets on the bottom and then you have 1 there. They're all facing upwards, and you put obsidian here. And then what we do is we place, I guess I should have put the pistons there last. This is gonna be really messy. Let me get rid of the last one so it doesn't keep pulling up everything. Okay, so then we place our repeaters here, and we delay them by 4. And yeah, I already placed all the stuff, so all the stuff is gonna keep going. Okay, we can place these again. Okay, so those are delayed 4. We put redstone above this. Your input's gonna go in right here, and I'll just do like a repeater or something here. And then we put a torch here, and then an observer facing. So like, okay, hold on. Yeah, so we do an observer facing upwards 1 block away from the torch, and this is literally just to get the signal down without having to go around. Like, we could have just easily like done this. It's just a little bit easier to do this. The delays have to be there as well, because the observer will delay it by 1, so you'd have to put a repeater if you went around, and then you have to add another block for the repeater, and this is just easier. So what we do is we do that, and then we put blocks like this so that this thing, oh, we have to put redstone, yeah, right. So this thing powers the redstone, which then powers the observer, which then powers this block, which then will power this stuff. And then we place repeaters facing inward on a tick of 1. So these are a tick of 1, these are a tick of 4. And then this should allow us to do whatever we want to do here. So we'll grab it, and yeah, you have to take it off. It needs to be a button, and then when we do it again, it will push it back down. And yeah, so the reason that we bring it out like this rather than doing something like just like having it up here like that is so that when you build the structure around it, you only have to have an indent of 1, and then you can put your stuff in front of this, because otherwise if we just have like the slime blocks go straight up and then have this shift over by 1, then you'd have to outdent this even more, and I don't like that. I like having it at least just like 1 block indented rather than having to do it 2. So this just allows you to do that. You could also do it at the bottom if you need to do that, but it's usually underground, so it doesn't really matter. So that's why we did that, so that you can build the wall basically in front of it without it looking weird. And next we need to attach the button to both sides. This is relatively straightforward. Like your wall is probably going to be out by 1, and then we just like attach a button here. It can be a stone button or anything. I don't actually have one in my inventory, so I'll put a button here. It needs to attach to the bottom one, so I'll probably just bring it out like that. So yeah, you attach the button there, and then the button also has to attach up to the top one, which you can do by doing that glass tower. You don't have to. You can just like do a spiral staircase or something if you don't care, but I think glass is just a little bit faster to do, especially because I'm in creative mode. So you just bring it up. It can be delayed. It can be out of sync of the bottom one, but the more you delay the top one, the slower it'll open. But sometimes if your tower's too far away, you can't reach this thing up here, so just keep that in mind. Yeah, so we have that. So let's do one more. So let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and we should be able to put the repeater here. And this should allow us to do everything all at once. So we press the button, and then it will open completely, and then your structure will be like right here, so then it'll be flush with everything like that. We also want to add the button on the other side, so like whatever the inside of your base would be, and we could do that just through the same way. We just add a button right here, and then we hook it up to the exact same area. We do need to make sure that the signal will reach all the way to the top. So it should work if we have a repeater right here, because it's like, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 repeater. Yeah, that'll be fine. So do that, and then it's basically like a free XOR gate. We don't have to build an XOR gate this time because they're buttons and it works like an XOR gate would already. So yeah, you go in and then you go on the other side and then it'll close, and that's basically it. That's the entire design. Alright, that'll be it for this episode. As always, I hope you have a great day and I'll see you next time.